Imagine you're standing in the middle of a crowded city street at night. Rain, neon lights, horns, hundreds of people brushing past each other, and somehow nobody sees you. If a woman is lonely, society calls it a tragedy. We write emotional articles. We launch campaigns. We ask, who hurt her? How do we help? If a man is lonely, society calls it nothing. No headlines, no outrage, no charity campaigns. Just silence. Pause. Because on the mating market, male loneliness is not treated as a problem. It is treated as a symptom of low value. Tonight, we're not doing therapy. We're doing an audit. Today, we calculate the true cost of being invisible. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. If you are a man, the world doesn't ask how you feel. It asks, what are you worth? What do you bring? Why should anyone choose you? You may not like that question. The market does not care. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand why your loneliness isn't a random curse. It's a price, and prices can be changed. We love to pretend loneliness is purely emotional. Poor you. You just need more hugs, more kindness, more self-love. So let's drop the candles and inspirational quotes for a second. Let's look at the cold structure underneath. In the last few decades, the number of young men with no dating life, no intimacy, no real connection has exploded. You see it everywhere. Men withdrawing into their rooms, into their screens, into their heads. At the same time, when we talk about mental health, we keep repeating one statistic in a quiet voice. Most suicides are men. Behind every one of those numbers, there is a room where the phone never rings, a conversation that never happens, a man who quietly decided he doesn't belong here anymore. If you're in a really dark place right now, don't do this alone. Talk to someone you trust or a professional where you live. Your life is not a rounding error. This is what some researchers call deaths of despair. But unlike a financial crisis, there is no bailout for you, no government rescue package, no stimulus check for your soul. If a bank is collapsing, the system mobilizes. If you are collapsing, the system shrugs. Here's the part nobody tells you. You live in an economy that silently treats male loneliness as an acceptable loss, collateral damage, a rounding error. Why? Because nature is pragmatic, society is pragmatic. Women are born with biological value, the ability to create life, the center of family, instinctive protection from the tribe. Men are born with potential value. Potential is a polite word. It means you are a question mark until you build something. The market doesn't pay you for potential. It pays you for realized value. In other words, you are not guaranteed to be wanted. You are not guaranteed to be chosen. You are not guaranteed to be loved. And that hurts, but stay with it. This pain is the doorway to clarity. There is a brutal sentence people like to repeat. Only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is loved under the condition that he provides something. Is it literally true for every human on earth? No, but for most men, it feels emotionally accurate. Think about the expectations placed on you. You are supposed to be strong, but gentle, ambitious, but never too aggressive, successful, but humble, emotionally available, but never needy. And on top of that, you are supposed to provide stability, resources, protection, direction, a sense of safety. When you provide all of this, you might be considered a good man. When you fail to provide, you don't just lose admiration, you risk losing your place. For most of human history, the tribe couldn't afford to feed a man who brought nothing. If you didn't contribute, you didn't survive. Today, we have supermarkets and welfare systems, so your body can survive without much contribution. But the psychology never really left. On a deep level, your brain knows, if I'm not useful, I'm disposable. That's why male loneliness is not just nobody texts me. It's I suspect I am not needed. I suspect I don't matter. I suspect if I disappeared, nothing would change. Here's where it gets expensive. A man who truly believes he doesn't matter stops investing. He stops building. He stops trying. Why would he? Multiply that by millions of men checking out, and you don't just get broken hearts. You get fewer businesses started, fewer families built, less innovation, less stability. Invisible men don't build strong countries. They barely build strong weeks. This is how entire generations of men slowly turn into background characters in their own lives. So let's put it into one clear statement. Women are treated as human beings, valuable by default. Men are treated as human doings, valuable when they produce. You treat yourself like a human being, expecting love just for existing. The world treats you like a battery, expecting energy, output, support. When the battery is full, everyone is happy to plug into you. When you run dry, you are replaced. Do you feel how violent that sounds? Good. Because pretending the world is softer than it is hasn't helped you so far. This is not cruelty. This is praxeology, the logic of survival and incentives. The tribe protects those who are useful to the tribe. Not fair, just functional. This is the part nobody puts on self-help posters, because if they did, you would stop believing that just loving yourself is enough. So, if the game is this harsh, why aren't men revolting? Why aren't we seeing millions of young men building, training, creating networks, raising their value? Why is the average man retreating deeper into distraction instead of deeper into discipline? You are not physically chained, you are chemically numbed. Cheap dopamine, unlimited entertainment, escapist fantasy. Scroll, click, like. Next episode, next level, next tab. Your brain thinks you are fighting battles, conquering lands, winning status. In reality, you're just wearing out a chair. Pornography gives you a simulation of intimacy without the risk of rejection, without the effort of becoming attractive, without facing your own lack of discipline. Video games give you a simulation of progress. You level up, you earn rewards, you feel competent without moving 1 centimeter in real life. Social media gives you a simulation of visibility, a few likes, a few comments, a temporary hit of, I exist. But when you put the phone down, the room is still empty. Here's the trap. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between simulated victory and real victory. It just sees dopamine. So it calms down. It stops pushing you. It says, we're winning. Relax. You are not relaxed. You are being neutralized. They gave you a simulation of power so you wouldn't seek real power. They gave you a simulation of connection so you wouldn't build real brotherhood. They gave you a simulation of achievement so you wouldn't dare to chase achievements that can actually fail. In exchange, they get your time, your attention, your data, your money, and your life slowly drains away in a glow of blue light. If this feels uncomfortably accurate, subscribe and stay here. This channel exists to drag you out of that blue glow and back into your own life. If any of this hits too close to home, good. It means the sedative hasn't fully killed your self-respect yet. So what is the cure for loneliness? You've been told the answer is pity. Pity for yourself. Pity from others. Be kind to yourself. Validate your feelings. Don't be so hard on yourself. There is a place for compassion, but pity is for victims. If you build your entire identity around being hurt and unseen, you may attract attention, but you will not attract respect. And without respect, love slowly turns into obligation, and desire quietly disappears. The cure for loneliness is not pity. The cure is competence. The only sustainable way out is simple, brutal, and boring. You have to become dangerous. Not unhinged, not violent. Dangerous. A man who is dangerous is a man with options. Options in work. Options in relationships. Options in where he lives, how he spends his time, who he allows into his circle. You don't earn options by crying about the unfairness of the market. You earn options by becoming the kind of man the market cannot easily replace. This means you build a body that can carry weight. You build skills that solve problems. You build discipline that doesn't collapse under stress. You build a reputation that makes people think twice before disrespecting you. Here's the checkpoint. Once you accept that you are judged on what you can do, you can stop begging to be seen and start working to become undeniable. Stop asking, why doesn't anyone choose me? Start asking, if I were her, would I choose me? If I were an employer, would I hire me? If I were a friend, would I rely on me? If the answer is no, good. Now you have a clear target. There is one more piece missing. You will not make this journey alone. Stop looking for a mother to save you. The world is not going to collectively turn around, hug all men, and apologize for the last 50 years. Stop waiting for a woman to rescue you from your own lack of structure. Her job is not to build your backbone for you. Start looking for brothers to build with. Men who train, men who build, men who learn, men who hold each other to a higher standard. Loneliness is not only no girlfriend. Loneliness is also no mission, no tribe, no demand placed on me. Nobody who would notice if I disappeared. When you commit to building value and surround yourself with men who are doing the same, something shifts. You stop obsessing over being liked. You start obsessing over being useful. You stop asking for attention. You start demanding responsibility. And the market slowly starts reacting. Opportunities appear, respect appears, options appear. And suddenly the question is no longer, why does nobody want me? The question becomes, who do I want to give my time and energy to? If you're still here, it means you're not fully sedated. There is a part of you that refuses to stay invisible. Good. Hold on to it. Because there is one internal enemy that will fight you harder than any algorithm, any dating app, any economic condition. The nice guy, the version of you that believes, if I'm just kind enough, agreeable enough, soft enough, people will finally see my value, and I won't have to risk anything. He is the one who smiles instead of setting boundaries. He is the one who apologizes for having needs. He is the one who says yes when everything in your chest screams no. He is also the one keeping you lonely. To build a life where you are not invisible, you don't have to become cruel. You have to become clear. Clear about your standards. Clear about your mission. Clear about what you will and will not tolerate. But to do that, you must kill the nice guy identity inside you. Not your kindness, not your empathy. The fake, manipulative version of nice that keeps you small so you don't disturb anyone. If you want to understand why that part of you has to die and how to replace it with something stronger, watch the next video. Stop being nice. Why the nice guy always loses. Subscribe and binge this series instead of doom-scrolling manosphere content that keeps you exactly where you are. You've been invisible long enough.